days are cooler, nights are warmer, and I put the blame on you. Time moves slow, but my heart beats faster. When these eyes are looking right at you, you give me something to believe in, just what I needed. You're the closest.
And it's wild that Not Like Us played not one, not two, not three, not four, 5 times, and every time people were like it was the first time, and it was weird. I can't describe it to you. And welcome back, by the way, to the hottest show in the galaxy. It's the Karen Hunter Show. We're here. A couple of you wanted to talk about this, so I'm bringing it back. The number here is 866-801-TALKS. It was a music teacher that was online holding on when Tiffany was coming in. Please call back if you will. Cheo Hadari Coker, Cheo, who was one of the creators of Luke Cage. He's co-writer of Notorious, Creed 2, a writer. We're contemporaries. Our paths have crossed. He tweeted, he said, "Not Like Us hits you in this place that's purely African." He said it's the horns, the melding of New Orleans second line fanfare, HBCU marching bands, and uncut West African rhythm that survived Middle Passage. When I heard those horns, I immediately in mind heard this. And then he posted a YouTube video from Fela Kuti, Water No Get Enemy, which I think he's absolutely right. There are things that are unspoken about this experience called Blackness. You know, when I ask folk who call up, and I didn't ask the lady that called yesterday, who was surprising and gave me hope, you know, that maybe this journey we're on is not futile. You know, we're not running headlong into a brick wall, but we're actually maybe breaking through this wall, these barriers into a place. And maybe these days that we're in are literally the last gasps of something that's dying. And I'm happy about that. But yeah, there's something in our souls that connects us, if we're being honest. And it's forged in trauma. It's forged in brutality. It's forged in that kind of not being seen and heard and knowing. You know, I don't know if anyone else feels like this, but when you know something and no one else is listening, as the caller called up yesterday, and thinking that you're crazy. Am I crazy? Because I see and I feel this thing. And is anybody else, you know, and to finally find a place where other people see it too. It's validating, but more importantly, it solidifies some things in your soul. So again, musically, you know, Kendrick Lamar is not ever somebody, you know, and I even side-eye the Pulitzer every time somebody says it, but I side-eye mine too. So if we're going to be honest, you know, it's not, there's no value in the things that other people have determined is valuable if it's not doing anything to move the needle. Now, the Pulitzer that I was a part of actually did help rebuild the world famous Apollo Theater. So I feel very proud of that work. And if that award also validates that work, then yes, you know, anybody that's been to the Apollo Theater and you see how beautiful it is directly tied to a series of editorials that we did at the New York Daily News. What happened in reclaiming that jewel. But beyond that, you know, I guess one could argue that if Kendrick has awakened one or two minds to aspire to do something great with a pen, with thoughts, you know, we are basking right now in, you know, celebrating the thoughts of a Langston Hughes or even a James Baldwin. We often quote them. We quote Maya, we quote Tony, we quote people who put pen to paper. We quote them all the time because those words are indelibly etched in our souls, and we know we feel something when we read those words. I read a poem that I had never read before about Jim Crow and Hitler from Langston Hughes. I had never seen that poem, but it was in a book. It led off a book with a guest we had on this week, and I was like, let me read, because he just put a snippet in the book because you can't put the whole poem. You know, it's just like licensing and everything. So I was like, well, let me see what the whole poem says. And I read that thing and I said, whoa, how come I've never seen this before? But this is why we have to keep talking and discovering and reading and expanding and exchanging. And it's so beautiful. So this concert last night, this pop-up, And I can't stop watching these men on stage dapping and holding hands and dancing. And there's a moment LeBron James is in the crowd, right? And you know he wants to get up on that stage. You know he does. And Savannah's right there. And she's like, baby, nah, don't, yeah. But Westbrook, Russell's up there. No, you got way more to lose than Russell Westbrook and DeMar DeRozan. No, sir, you're gonna stand right here with me and the rest of us and watch this from the crowd. But he wanted to be up on that stage. You could see him like, oh, could I just get up there? Because it looked like so much fun. I just saw that. But anyway, 866-801-TALK. Again, the juxtaposition between that and what is happening with verses. I don't think for me, the notion of a versus, as if there can be a versus, as if there is a winner. I think the best versus for me was Jill Scott and Erykah Badu because it was a love fest. It was two artists who I absolutely had so much respect for one another and stories and history, and we got a history lesson, and it wasn't as much of a battle as it was a celebration of both artists, and that's the way it should be, for me. But then you have to change the name. It's no longer a versus, it's something else. But, things can evolve, and I'm here for it. But how a thing is forged, we have to, pay attention to it.
My days are cooler, nights are warmer, and I put the blame on you. Time moves slow, but my heart beats faster. When these eyes are looking right at you. You give me something to believe in, just what I needed. You're the closest.